Hello, Parsboro Community Radio listeners. Welcome to Exploring the Neighborhood with your hosts, Thor and Debbie, here on CICR 99.1 on your FM dial. We'd like to thank Kanza as the sponsor for our show.
For those of you who are not aware, Kanza is Cumberland County's only careers Nova Scotia centre and a vital participant in this area's road to prosperity. This year, Kanza is celebrating 15 years of serving the area and providing valuable employment and educational opportunities. Our goal for Exploring the Neighborhood is to take you on a series of half-hour adventures that include road trips, candid interviews, and commentaries.
We'll focus on the area's homegrown businesses, unique landmarks, and emerging talent. We're hoping to shine a well-deserved light on the local endeavors that promote eco-friendliness and self-sufficiency. Hello. It's been a while since I've been here.
Since you joined me.
Yeah.
I've been doing all the interviews on my own. Imagine that.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Now, you're here. How do you like winter in Nova Scotia?
I love it. It's not as warm as Alabama, but it's pretty darn close, actually, because they are in the highs right now around 40 degrees.
It's better than Montreal.
Yes, it's way better, and way better than Minnesota, which is where I'm originally from.
Ice storm in Montreal, no power for 23 days. Army had to come in, had the fireplace going 24 hours a day for 23 days straight. Here, barely noticed it. Power didn't even go out.
Where is the snow? That's what I want to know.
It came and it went. They saved it the year that we bought this place. That's when they had snow.
We missed that year. That is the year we came to look at the house to purchase, and we couldn't even see the front door.
Nope. And the real estate agent wore tennis shoes.
Crazy.
Imagine that. I seen people with shorts hanging out at local grocery store.
I see people in pajamas.
And all colored hair. It's that diversity thing, I guess.
Well, sure.
So, what have we done this winter?
When we're not working and we're not sleeping, we're eating.
We got a lot of good food here, actually.
I have to say, New Year's dinner was the best.
Thankfully, Chase's was open. They opened a couple of days and
we got our lobster and pigged out. Oh, it was wonderful.
Apparently, even when they're not open, you can get it at the Masstown Market, I heard. Very efficient. A lobster, anytime. As soon as the new year hit, we took a trip to Truro.
To the bank.
Didn't go to our favorite restaurant there, Nook and Cranny, which we usually go to on Prince Street. They lost their chef to Parsboro, one of our other favorite places.
So we tried a new restaurant that we have never been to before called Belly-up
BBQ and Grill.
Nice place. Like the atmosphere, good food. Your typical bar food, hamburgers, ribs, all different variety, and beer.
Good choice of beer.
Yep.
They used to be called Champions Bar and Grill, and apparently the place has been a work in progress from what the waitress said for the last 30 years.
And I believe it is owned by the same people that own Nook and Cranny, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was originally opened in 1983, if you can think back that far.
I can.
You remember the music instantly, right?
Oh, yes.
And the Johnson family operated it as the Mill Beverage Room. Kind of a nice name. I like that.
Yeah.
Mill Beverage Room. 27 years. And then they sold the business November of 2010, believe it or not.
That's when you and I hooked up.
It was in 2010. Changed owners in 2013, and then they wanted to make it the best live entertainment place in central Nova Scotia. I have no idea if they succeeded because we haven't been there to see anything. They claim to have had great live acts like the Trews, Alan Doyle, the Stanfields, bunch of cover bands. Unfortunately, while we're in California, we haven't heard of any of these people.
No.
But we're assuming they're great, and it looks like a great place to see bands.
Yep.
Have a nice atmosphere, nice and sort of standard sports bar / a little bit on the greasy spoon, but good. Very good.
Yeah, it was good.
And we tried a Newfoundland beer.
Oh, we did. The Black Horse?
The Black Horse.
Yeah.
Kind of skunky aftertaste, but it was good.
Skunky but spunky.
I call it Canadian skunk. Better than O'Keefe for anyone from Quebec. Much better than O'Keefe. Newfie beer. So we're coming back from Truro, and we stop.
Yeah, we took the scenic route back home and stopped at Great Village.
Where you wanted to spend money.
I wanted to spend money. You know, I wasn't sure if the antique stores there are open during the winter, and they're not, as we discovered.
Like the restaurants.
But that's okay. Ironically, we ended up finding a place that you've been wanting to see and check out for a long time, and we happened to just stumble upon the building, so that was good.
Ocean Sonics Limited. And of all things, in Great Village, this little spot in Colchester County, they make world-class hydrophones. What are hydrophones, you ask? I knew you were going to ask that. Hydrophones are underwater microphones. That's right up my alley.
How cool is that?
Yep. So I popped in, and they were in the middle of working, but I disturbed them, and I got to meet Mark Wood and his operations manager, Desiree. And they were really nice to me. They didn't throw me out or have me arrested or anything. And they actually invited me to come back and talk about microphones. Excuse me, hydrophones.
Yes.
Now, I am so curious, but that's going to be later. The weather turned sour and we had to move out of that area and get back.
Yep, snow was falling.
Speaking of snow, we also took a trip to Moncton, and we happened to pick a day that it looked beautiful outside. It was gorgeous. And there's a band that I'm working with called MioKal. They're a wonderful band. We'll get to see them on February 23rd. They are playing in Pictou on February 23rd. And we are going out to see them. That being said, when we left Spring Hill, the weather was gorgeous. We went and had our meeting with them. And then on the way out, we
stopped and got a bite to eat.
At Jungle Jim's.
Yeah.
Jungle Jim's, a maritime favorite, I heard.
Yeah. It felt like we're back down in Florida.
It did. But this place originated in Newfoundland. They've got like 12 stores in Newfoundland.
Oh, I didn't know
12
that.
restaurants in Newfoundland, yeah.
I did not know that.
2 in Labrador. You can eat at Jungle Jim's at Happy Valley Goose Bay. You did not know that, did you?
No.
No, the food was great. The waitress was one of the better ones we ran across. Actually, the one that we met in Truro was great, too. Been running into really good waitresses lately, I believe.
Yep. Good beer.
Yes, we had beer again. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
And the food was great. What did we have? I had a spinach dip.
A spinach artichoke.
It
no?
was. I liked it.
What did I have? Oh, I know what I had.
What did you have?
I can't remember what they're called.
We come from California, but we can't pronounce Mexican food.
Taquitos.
Yeah, those skinny little things that are like mini burritos, but they're hard.
Oh, but those were good.
They were.
They were like homemade. They weren't frozen, taken out of a box and thrown into the oven. These were actually homemade.
It was on our bucket list of things to do, and we went, and it was great. then...
The casino.
You couldn't help it, could you?
Couldn't.
You had to spend money.
I have a rule. $20. I enter the casino with $20 to play with. That's it. That's my limit. I actually walk around the casino and my psychic vibes just go into effect, and I walk around until a machine just speaks to me, and then I sit at that machine and then I play it. Normally I would just cash out right away, going, great, I made $50, that covers our trip, we're good to go. But this time I had a feeling, and you wanted me to pull out when I won $50 and said, okay, let's go.
If I can interject, the bartender asked us, is it snowing yet? To which I answered, what? Snow? What are you talking about? And he said, yeah, northeaster blowing in. And I said, where from? And he goes, from Nova Scotia. And that's where we're going. I knew we were in trouble, so I was trying to get you out of that casino. But what did you do?
I said, no, I have a feeling about this. Just let me hit a couple more times. And then I did, and I won $115.
At that point, I said, time to go.
Well, me too, because I didn't want to lose any more money. Didn't want to play the money I just won. So yeah, we cashed out and hightailed it out of there.
And lo and behold, bartender was right, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, it was snowing when we got outside. And yeah, it was pretty treacherous driving back home. And there was one moment when it was getting hard to see. A semi blew past us.
In the snow.
Wide out. I grabbed your arm and I grabbed the door and just held on, and I just braced myself. We didn't know where we were going. We couldn't see anything. Completely snow blinded, and luckily nothing happened. There were no other cars around us or behind us.
Being from Canada, I understand this is just regular for winter. We haven't been driving in those conditions for over 15 years.
Yeah.
So for me to be in a situation where the road disappeared, everything disappeared, the ditches disappeared, I didn't know whether the car was straight, sideways.
It was pretty scary. That was like the longest, probably 5 seconds.
Yeah, we probably talked about it for 2 minutes, but it only really took about 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah, it felt like forever.
Bottom line, we got home safely.
We did.
And that's good.
And I said, we're never leaving the house again.
I finally finished one of the plans I had from the time we got here, which was to create musical instruments. I finally made that lap steel guitar.
Yes, and I can't wait to help you with that.
Yeah. I showed the people at Amherst Music, the people at the Groove Factory, and a few other musicians in and around town. Seems like everyone's excited about the new design.
And I can't wait to start working on those and making them. And then we're going to hire our own little elves to help us make all these awesome little instruments.
That's what we need, elves.
Yes, we are going to hire elves.
Because apparently it's a little bit difficult getting workers around here. We've had 4 people quote for electrical here, and not one has shown up to do the work.
That's why we're also going to become part-time construction workers. So we can get all the things done around the house that we need to. We're going to be a jack of all trades.
I feel in this area, once you find someone who does good work, you got to grab their number and get them right away.
Yes.
The roofs went up real quick without any problem.
Yep.
Thanks to our friend out in Joggins who does a great job. But we've had lots of people quote for a lot of things. Good example, snow plowing. We've been here 2 years. All the snow plows that they just pass us. They kind of nod. Not one of them stops or hands us a business card or anything. It's a strange thing. I'm not used to that.
We're not used to that because we're used to California, where people literally come knocking on your door begging for work and
they
offering.
Come with business cards.
Yep.
They come with a truck. They come fully equipped. They come ready to work that day.
Yep.
And if you have a big job, all of a sudden they'll have 5 other workers there ready to work. And they're very affordable. It's affordable here, but nobody ever shows up to actually do the work. At least that's been our experience.
So if you're a hard worker and you like to work and you want to fix things or like to work on houses, you know who to call.
We'll gladly hand out your number.
Definitely.
All the talk about construction work, there is such opportunity here with all the older buildings that are very affordable. They're everywhere. Really cool, old, antique buildings with lots of character, good woodwork. The opportunity is limitless. As a matter of fact, you showed me an article just the other day.
Oh yeah, someone had purchased an old building and they turned it into a 1920s hardware store. Museum. It's a museum.
And there were so many great ideas based on the way they used to do things too.
Yep.
The way the walls were, the way they decorated, everything.
Lots of great opportunities with some of the buildings that are for sale around here in the various towns. I would love to see more coffee shops open up.
Just quaint little.
Right.
Stop in, have an organic coffee, and maybe
very
muffin.
cozy. A place you could go to, bring a book and read. We'll see. Maybe one day.
Maybe
one day.
But opportunities where it's at in Cumberland. There are so many new ideas coming up. I can't wait. We're having a meeting this week with the people in Parsboro. They're going to be talking all the ideas that they have for this year. Film festival. We were involved with a film festival last year.
Yep.
Got to talk. Got to see good, beautiful footage. And looking forward to this year being bigger and better than last year was.
We sure are.
Another thing that's going on is I'm going to be hosting a songwriters workshop, and we'll probably have a session in Parsboro, one in Amherst, and maybe one in either Oxford or Spring Hill, depending if there's enough interest. And that'll be related to Canada's 150th.
Oh, yes. And let me tell everyone, in case if they don't know, Canadian parks are offering free entrance to all the provincial parks, but you have to go to the Canadian
government website,
and you can, it's not an application, you just fill out the form and they mail it to you. It takes 4 to 6 weeks, and you hang your tag up in your car on your mirror, and free access to all the parks for the whole year of 2017.
Get your pass early.
Get out. Go hang out in the parks. Get out in nature.
Go see them. The ones around here are phenomenal.
Yes.
I hope that we have more tourism than we did last year. Last year was a great year, but I hope we even have more people coming in, spending their money, keeping it in Cumberland County.
I think they will.
One of the other major things, I guess it's major for me, is getting my hunting permits together.
What a fiasco.
I've been on that mission for close to a year and a half, and I still don't have all my permits. I did achieve a lot, but not quite there yet. I'm looking forward to spring bear hunt this year, but it did take a long time. And now we're facing the same thing with you and your driving courses. There's a lot of rules and regulations here.
Yes, I haven't driven a car for years. Just
let that license slip. Same
no,
as me.
no reason for it. I just haven't driven because you and I are always together. There's no point in us having 2 vehicles. We're always together. We work together, and you do all the driving. But, you know, it's time to get my license. And even at my age at 47,
a woman never tells.
Even at my age at 47, it's going to take me about 2 years to get my driver's license.
2 years.
2 years.
But you drove all the way up until the point where you met me.
Right.
And then you handed me the keys, and that was the end.
That's it. Driving Miss Debbie.
Driving Miss Debbie. I like that. So now you're going to be able to drive yourself. Excellent.
Or I can drive you when you're crippled.
Hey, and yes, drive me when I'm crippled. Speaking about hunting, you are going to give me a little extra chance at getting close to the deer, aren't you, this year? With your soap.
Yes, I have been making some samples of soaps that are completely hypoallergenic. There are no chemicals added whatsoever. Basically, it's the good old-fashioned Pioneer soap. I used to make it a long time ago, and I got away from it, and I'm getting back into it.
I like the idea that you're going to make it mixed in with some natural scents like pine and spruce so that deer know that we don't smell like humans.
Yes. Well, I know there's a lot of people around here that have allergies and are sensitive and have sensitive skin. And for the last year, we've only been using the soap I make. And it
works for me.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Not only that, it's even great to use it on your clothes if you need to take stains out. But anyway, I'm going to be really trying to make a lot of soap this year. It's also great to give away for gifts as well. I also want to market it to the hunters because I know store-bought soap has perfumes. Even if you get unscented soaps from the store, they still have chemicals and things in it. So that is definitely a personal thing that...
It's the mission for the year.
Yes.
I like it. Continuing on the subject of hunting, we have a very special story from Outfitter Jamie Hicks. Tell us one of your hunting extravaganzas.
I have many, but there's one that kind of always sticks out in my mind, and it always seems to get people fired up. They have a lot of opinions about this one. They say I'm a little crazy and a little nuts. It was by far one of the most exciting adventures that I think that I'd ever done. And I had the opportunity to experience a sow bear and her cub in her den in the winter. And it was something that I always wanted to do. And I never had a chance to do it. And then when I finally found a bear den, and as we know, there's lots of bears in Nova Scotia, but try and find a bear den. It's like they're uncommon. You just don't find them.
They don't have it listing anywhere on social media.
No, I guess you can't find them on the internet anywhere. But while I was guiding up in New Brunswick, I was introduced to a bear den up there. And I thought, wow, I can't wait for winter to come to see if I can go back and maybe find the sow in her den. It could have been a boar anyway, but here it is on the 25th of March. This would be 4 years ago. We went in by snowmobile in, I think it was like 3.5 feet of snow. We got to this place where the den was, and it's to the point where the bears are really going to start to come out. So
that's what I was thinking. I was saying 24th of March. Aren't you cutting it a little close?
It was a little close, but it was cold and lots of snow. We thought we'd just go check it out just to see. Upon getting there, we come up to the den, and the first thing we looked for was any sign that she'd been out. There was none of that. There was no sign. Everything was the way it was kind of left when we left in the fall. We did check it out, and now you got to really picture this. It's hard to talk about it, but you really got to picture a big mound in the woods. It's a pine woods, spruce mixture. You get a lot of curvois, and there was this big spruce limb hanging down over the entrance to the den. So I kind of thought, am I going to open that up and look in and something surprise me? Or you really don't know what to expect. You really have to be careful. You remember, you have no weapon, you have nothing but a video camera.
So you figure that a sleeping bear is a good idea to examine without weapons?
Needless to say, I didn't have no weapon, none whatsoever but my 2 fists, but I had a camera in one and a flashlight in the other, so really, I was unarmed all the way around. And this is where people start to say, like, this guy's really nuts. But as a passionate outdoorsman, I didn't go there to stir them bears up. I didn't go to harass them. Like I said, if I hadn't noticed any sign of movement whatsoever, I would have gladly backed off and left. What I did is I took a stick and I lifted the limb up, looked down in the hole with the flashlight, and I could see the black hair. So I knew then that there was something in there. Now, from the time I had moved that limb to the time I actually got to take pictures or even attempt it to go in that den was about an hour and a half. I watched her continuously, and she was sound asleep. She had not moved whatsoever. And this footage you can see on my YouTube channel, the footage of me being in the den with this bear. So if anybody's really wanting to see it, picture it, me talking about it, but seeing it is actually just as exciting or more exciting to actually visual it.
We're on it. We're all going to run and look at the YouTube. I got to see this.
So, as you know, Exploring the Neighborhood, we have been doing these radio shows for about a year, and we have decided to archive them on YouTube.
If you want to hear what we really said, you can go now on YouTube and you can find us.
Scotia Heritage Productions.
And it'll be under Exploring the Neighborhood.
Yes. Yep.
But we have other missions for the year too. I'm going to be trying something new that I've never done before. And we're going to record an audiobook.
Yes.
That's a nice new project. Love it.
Yeah.
We'll be doing that for Vicky Porter.
Yep.
#1 author in Spring Hill that we know.
Yep.
Hope there's not any others that we're offending, but Vicky, we love your stuff. Also, we are going to be making alcohol. Got a new toy for Christmas.
You're going to make us sound like we're drunks now.
No, we are connoisseurs. We are connoisseurs.
Yes.
Sophisticated connoisseurs of the finer spirits.
I like spirits.
Distilling units are awesome. Trying my luck at rum with vodka and whiskey coming up next.
Okay, time has run out. If you'd like to contact us, our email is scotiaheritageproductions@gmail.com.
When it comes to local business, arts, crafts, and entertainment, we'll try our best to provide a global perspective on our community and remind listeners that where one regularly chooses to spend their money is often much more powerful than the occasional vote at the ballot box.
So, help out your talented neighbors and enjoy the unique diversity of what Cumberland, Westmoreland has to offer. And ultimately, you'll be helping yourself. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Exploring the Neighborhood is sponsored by Kansa, your career's Nova Scotia center.
So, tune in next week for another episode of Exploring the Neighborhood with your hosts, Thor and Debbie, here on CICR 99.1 on your FM dial.